The coronavirus crisis has escalated rapidly across the country, with Australia recording its first death. Here's what we know this hour. The 78-year-old man died while being treated in a hospital in WA. He was aboard the Diamond Princess cruise ship. 2 new cases have been confirmed: a New South Wales man who recently returned from Iran and a Victorian man currently in isolation in Howard Springs in the Top End. He was also aboard the Diamond Princess. Let's go live now to Trudy McIntosh in Canberra with the latest. Trudy, what more do we know about the Australian man who's died from the virus?
Yeah, Danica, sadly, confirmation today that a 78-year-old man is the first Australian to die as a result of this coronavirus. He was being treated for the symptoms of this in Sir Charles Gardner Hospital in Perth. He had been a part of that Diamond Princess cruise ship alongside his wife on holiday, and so many people, as we know, hundreds aboard that cruise ship contracted the virus when they were there. They were flown back as a part of that Qantas flight back to Australia from Japan, but on board at the time he was placed into isolation because he was tested to have symptoms of the virus, and he was then subsequently taken back to Perth. The WA Chief Medical Officer has spoken about his death today and says that because of the processes they had in place, they don't believe anyone else has caught this as a result of him.
He was obviously he was identified very early on when he was on the flight back from the Diamond Princess. He was put in isolation, was transferred to us, and he was obviously placed in isolation on his arrival. And he's been managed in isolation ever since. So there's no risk to the general community or to staff.
Now, we also are continuing to see more cases erupt of coronavirus now. There have been confirmation that in New South Wales, a man in his 40s is being looked after in Westmead Hospital because he also has symptoms of coronavirus. He had recently come back from Iran. And then this second case, which is in the Northern Territory Howard Springs facility. He was a man in his late 70s, had also been travelling aboard the Diamond Princess. He has contracted the virus and will now be medevaced back to Victoria, where he's from, Danica.
And Trudy, the government is defending its Iran travel ban.
We know that they've had a travel ban, Danica, with China for several weeks now, and there's been a lot of calls that should be lifted. And just over the last 24 hours, the government also placing a travel ban on Iran. The reason that was given for that is they don't believe the numbers in Iran in terms of the death rate there is accurately being represented, that they think this could be a much bigger problem now when it comes to Iran. And also there's concerns about the state of the healthcare system in that city, in that country, sorry. The Health Minister, Greg Hunt, today defending this, saying that this was the right decision by the government to put this travel ban in place.
No, we are one of the world's leading nations on this. We've acted early, we've acted hard, and we've acted decisively. I know there has been some criticism that we may have acted too early on that front. I think the affirmation today is that in acting early, we have been ahead of the curve.
The government is also facing questions now about whether a similar ban should be put in place for people coming from Italy and also from South Korea, 2 places where we have seen significant outbreaks of this disease. The government says for now they're continuing to monitor cases and will be willing to act where necessary, Danica.